Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining today. As always, Nate Dodson. We're here with Jillian Sidoti. And we're going to talk all things business. So, the important thing though, Jillian, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm going to be very well caffeinated and hydrated. I got water and coffee. I'm just ready for this. I'm so ready.
You know what? I could use a lot more coffee. I just got
I know this
well,
is totally unrelated, but I have a mastermind. And in that mastermind last week, we had a very famous hematologist come in. His name is Dr. Sanjeev Chopra. He's actually Deepak Chopra's brother. And he came in and his whole speech was about the benefits of coffee and why you need to drink more coffee, not less coffee. And he said any alcoholic, not that this is should be your metric of drinking coffee, that also drinks coffee doesn't get cirrhosis of the liver. And just saying.
So, moral of the story is based on
Drink more coffee. I mean, really, the moral is just drink more coffee.
from the Steph Curry, I don't know which is which, the good basketball player, the bad basketball player, but of hematology, what did you just call it?
Hematologist.
What does that actually mean?
I don't know.
As long as we're on the same page there, because
Yeah, but I'm gonna say it was an amazing speech. So I loved it very much. I think it's all blood. I think hematology has to do with blood.
I guess at the end of the day, as long as the conclusion is drink more coffee, that's a good
Yeah.
training.
Fun. Anyhow.
And on to trainings, like we're gonna be talking about again, one of the most important things about running a business, ramping up a business, making things happen. Right back in the saddle, talking all about marketing. So
let's do it.
yeah, I don't know if you have kind of a starting place. Of course, I put together kind of a bullet point PowerPoint to help, but we've both done so much over the years in starting businesses, growing businesses, running businesses, that I know we've got 1,001 different stories about the different things that worked for us, didn't work for us, and just kind of approaches.
Yeah. So I guess the first thing I would want to talk about is, what digital marketing really means. Digital marketing, we can talk about all of those things as functions like content marketing, social media, search engine optimization, pay-per-click, email marketing. We can talk about all of those juxtaposed to traditional marketing. But at the end of the day, the number one thing you have to focus on in whatever you're doing in your marketing is, are you increasing your credibility, your trust, the level of trust you have with your potential customer? If your marketing is not achieving that on some level, then your marketing is not going to be successful. So every time you put a piece of marketing out, you have to think, and this is different than advertising, you have to think, am I building trust with my audience through this piece of marketing? And if the answer is no, don't do it. You're wasting time. You're wasting your audience's time. There's no point.
Let me disagree and agree with you just a little bit, because
Sure.
I think of marketing, what's the number one goal? To begin with, I think it's awareness.
Sure.
Then it's actually filtering and funneling people from that, I know who you are, to maybe I want to do business with you. And that's where the authority comes into play of that next step. First level, be known. Second level, be the authority in the industry. Third level, now we're getting to the sales once it gets through the funnel.
Right, right. I know you said you're going to sit and disagree with me for a second, but I actually don't think you do, because I think in order to establish that awareness, there has to be a level of trust. Otherwise, people just move on, right? They do not become aware unless they have a reason to know, like, or trust you. So even still, even if your only purpose is to build awareness, you have to do that in a way that they actually, their conscious mind or subconscious mind, it takes in that information and stores it somewhere.
And actually, let me argue with myself, because awareness for awareness sake, I actually, it's not a good goal. And that actually comes from the personal experience that over the past few years, we do a lot of marketing, have hired a bunch of consultants to, like, hey, we're going to focus on this marketing channel or that marketing channel. One consultant, really big name real estate influencer, is just like, okay, teach us how to make a splash on social media. And he sure did, and learned a lot and invested a lot of time, money, and most importantly, energy. But at the end of it, it was really, it was a great experience, but it was 100% focused on views and awareness, really not building that authority. It was like, hey, what's the latest buzzword of today? Let's do some videos talking about this hot topic and get it out there. But at the end of the day, it was just like, how many clicks did we get? Not, are we delivering valuable information? So, but it was awareness. We got out
there. That's true. And what do you think your ROI was, or your return on investment was with that?
Always impossible to tell. And yeah, I mean, you nailed, like, this is my biggest problem that we're continuing to figure out. We know how to put out a lot of stuff, how to receive the data, analyze the data, to really figure out what's working and what's not working is so unbelievably important. Some of the consultants that I've worked with, kind of the VPs at Disney, the fangs of the business world, and they're like, okay, well, getting the awareness, getting the information out there is great, but if you don't know what you're really looking at and what you can do with it, it's almost worthless to be marketing to begin with.
Yeah, I agree. As a matter of fact, the funny thing is before you decide to do any of these things that we're talking about, whether it's, blogging, website, social media, etc., the thing that is crucial is that it needs to lay out a roadmap that will measure your success, that will give you measurable objectives to evaluate your success. Like, what is the goal? Is that a clear goal? What are our measurable objectives to evaluate success? Just like anything that you do in your business, there has to be a why behind it, and then a way you can justify your efforts. Because you made some great points there about time and effort and money. Like, all three of those things, we don't want to lose any of those things. And we talked about this previously. So how do you set that goal? I think the first thing you can do is, first of all, figure out what it is you're selling, why you're selling it. But then the third thing is kind of almost a linchpin or a cornerstone of how you move forward, which is, who's your buyer? Who's your buyer persona? Who's your avatar? And then how do you develop that buyer persona or avatar in order to in order to reach them specifically?
And it's one of the weirdest things. And you bring up the avatar. We've talked about it before in the past. A real live example is, there was a marketing consultant I was working with that was focused on an insurance agency. And like, okay, well, how do you target people that are interested in insurance? And based on their research, they figured out that people that need insurance have not only families, but pets. So really to target, market, and focus on kind of the pet platforms really leveraged well into insurance. And so I just bring that up because it's so weirdly disconnected, but at the same time, it's still important.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. The other part of it is that you really want to look at is what is going to get you best return on investment, and then how can you repurpose that best return on investment for other platforms. So what do I mean by that? First of all, you want to figure out what is going to be the thing that makes me the most money. And then I spent time in preparation for this particular presentation. I spent time trying to really figure out where is the real money. And there was some crazy
Is this a Jerry
statistics.
Maguire moment?
What's that?
Is this a Jerry Maguire moment?
Jerry, like show me the money. Is that like this is a show me the money moment? Yeah, actually, it kind of is. That funny you say that because the thing that now listen, these statistics. Let me see where I got them from before I like spout off. A lot of these came from like marketing agencies, like or CRMs, like HubSpot, Adobe, Smarter Insights, things like that. So, you know, entities that care about this information. And the first one was the average return of search engine optimization. So this was crazy to me. So 75% of users of a website never scroll past the first page of search results. So SEO is critical for your website visibility. However, you earn an average of $2.75 for every dollar spent on SEO. That is what the statistics say. That's $2.75 for every dollar spent. Now, with that being said, that sounds pretty good, right? That's a 275% return on investment.
Before you get deeper into it, can I just ask you an idiot's question? And I'm the idiot here. What does SEO mean?
Oh,
we've all heard it.
Sorry. So search engine optimization, where you're literally making your website and putting keywords within your website and producing content within your website so that you rise to the top. But I'm going to be honest with you, a shortcut to that, of course, is Google Ads. If you Google anything of significance where there's, you know, a lot of competition involved, you're going to notice that the first 4 results on Google are usually Google Ads. So you can shortcut this. You're gonna reduce your ROI, right? But you can shortcut this by doing Google Ads and just float to the top and be a sponsored ad on Google. I don't know the statistics on that. I don't know how effective it is, but you certainly could try it. A
little bit of our experience with your law firm.
Okay.
So when we bought Crowdfunding Lawyers in 2020, looking at the website, it was generating a bunch of traffic. It was all organic. You did a great job with the SEO. It was free traffic coming in. And it worked well for, I don't know, it was like 6 months to a year. And then you know what? We caught a virus.
Yeah.
Don't know how, don't know what happened, but there was this virus and it destroyed the entire website. We had a new one put up, and you know what? That SEO, it was gone. So much of it was gone. So all of a sudden our traffic crashed because with brand new site, no SEO, it was just kind of coming together, went from 100 miles an hour to 2 miles an hour. And we're like, okay, this isn't right. We've got to figure out the next steps. So we went from the SEO the organic investment to drive traffic through search engines, to then we started buying ads.
Oh, so
Specifically,
you did pay-per-click.
we did that while we were rebuilding our machine, the traction. And I will tell you that our dollar in to made, let's see, clicking on attorneys ads, always expensive. So we paid quite a bit for every click. And we did make about 1.5 times ad spend in fees that we made from the pay-per-click.
Oh, so, okay. So that actually tracks. I had said I didn't have Google statistics, but that actually wasn't true. I do have a Google statistic, because what I don't know if this is according to Google or according to other research, but Google can yield an average conversion rate of 3.75%, which is higher than organic traffic averages. So, I mean, that doesn't give you a dollar for dollar conversion, but it does say that it does, and it's incremental, right? It's almost 4% greater than organic. So I don't know. Like, you're going to spend money on SEO one way or the other, because the algorithm on Google is changing so much that you truly need an expert that knows what to put into that back end of your website to make it float to the top.
And we just did a kind of a SEO AI training last week, and the agency boss that was on there doing the training brought up a great point. It was literally April, just a few months ago, Google completely redid their algorithm. And they do this once or twice a year, and all of a sudden seeing the organic traffic just drop off the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And having to almost start from scratch, rebuilding the organic machine. And I keep saying organic because with SEO, it's free traffic, meaning that you're on the search engine, you're not paying for an advertisement. People are just finding your website because of where you are in the search engine, versus doing the pay-per-click, listing your ads, driving traffic, but you're paying every time somebody clicks on your website, whether they buy or not.
Yeah, and by the way, I want to say this, like, those are such great points. And the thing is, we started off this conversation with talking about building trust. And I kind of want to go back to that, because it ties into SEO. And the way you get your SEO going is just write about what you know. So you do that content marketing that creates that trust. What is content marketing? It's blogs sharing valuable information, videos sharing valuable information, infographics that share valuable information, those kinds of things. And if you start creating those things on a regular basis and make it a habit, then you put that into your website, which will increase your visibility on Google and other search engines, and that actually increases your SEO. So you want to just find, what are the keywords that people are looking for? What is your avatar looking for in doing this? It's funny, because 92% of marketers reported that they increased their investment in content marketing in 2024. So audiences are engaging. And then also blogs, businesses that blog receive 97% more links to their websites, which can enhance SEO efforts. And to that end, like, I know what you said about traffic dropping off, and that being, tragic, and you having to redo everything. But my guess would be you still got traffic, because I used to love to implant myself all over the place. Mm-hmm. And drop a link to the website in many places. As a matter of fact, I know crowdfunding lawyers, I won't say who it is, but I know crowdfunding lawyers recently acquired a client who reached out to me, who had seen a link and then couldn't find me. So they came and found me on social media, asking me where I went and how could I help them. And I was like, no, can't help you. Nate's over at crowdfunding lawyers. So these are like, my content got repurposed somewhere and they came back looking for me. So that's why this content marketing is so incredibly valuable.
Oh, without a doubt. So we've touched on SEO, we've touched on pay-per-click. Did you ever do much pay-per-click with the law firm, or you were purely SEO focused?
I was just so terrible at pay-per-click. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand how it worked. Like, you have to think when, and for those of you who are thinking about this and thinking about doing pay-per-click, you have to be so specific when you're going out to do pay-per-click, whether it's on Facebook or Google or any other platform, because what happens is you end up getting a bunch of people who are not your avatar. So this goes back to dialing to who your avatar is and then relaying that information into a ad space. Because if you think about it, these are all automatic. So and I just did a Facebook ad last night, and I was super specific in my parameters. When I was at the law firm, I just didn't know this. I was just like, I'll talk to everybody in the United States. Who cares? And then the next thing you know, the wrong avatar is reaching your ad and you're just wasting money. So that's why knowing who your avatar is really, and really narrowing it down is super, super important.
It is way more difficult to do that. Super important, but with pay-per-click, because like if you're doing a social media campaign, you have to define your audience. And that's really where who is your avatar really comes into play.
Right, for sure. For sure.
On the other side, Google pay-per-click is totally different. You pick out the keywords that your avatars would be searching for, and then you have to put your best foot forward in about 90 characters. Like you have to get somebody's attention in such a quick little, oh, this may be something that I need. Let me click on it. Yeah. But every time they do that too, it costs you money.
Absolutely.
Make sure you got it dialed in.
Oh, it's so funny because I have a development deal that I participated in down in the up in the Smoky Mountains. I'm down there. Up in the Smoky Mountains, and they were like, "Oh, we did some Facebook ads." Well, I'll be darned, I see that ad almost every day, and it's like, I don't want to see the ad. I know the properties. I'm not buying it. I've already invested. So, maybe I am the target audience, but at the same time, you're absolutely correct, because it's just costing us money every time it comes up on my feed as an ad. I want to get to something here that is really important, and that is the point of doing content marketing, right? What do you think, Nate? And this is kind of a trick question because I have an answer, right? But I really want to hear what you think. What do you think the point of content marketing is if you don't have, if it's not an advertisement, it's just giving people information just to build them up on the know, like, trust curve?
I mean, it know, like, trust curve with the authority is one of the biggest reasons to do the blog content, educational video content. Absolutely, that comes down to the know, like, and trust. But it doesn't really hit on that awareness. And awareness, it's kind of throwing a larger net out there, because you may have your defined avatar, but it's weird. Some of the clients that we've ended up with repeatedly from our content marketing strategies that really are not our, expected avatar, and still end up being really great clients to work with.
Sure. That's awesome. That's awesome. The thing about any marketing, I would say, is that even if your call to action in your case would be, schedule a call perhaps, but maybe another person's content marketing is a call to action to buy. I want to encourage you guys to, as a call to action, to give something away. And it doesn't have to be something expensive, but something where you are just providing an opportunity for the potential tire kicker, looky-loo, someone who's not ready to buy, who's not going to buy from you right now, to permanently get their, well, semi-permanently get their attention. And what I mean by that is get them to give you something that is low risk and no cost to them, which is their email and their cell phone. And it used to be just get them to give you their email, but I'm going to tell you to try to gather their cell phone as well. Because the amazing thing about, I could not believe it when I read the statistic. The amazing thing about email marketing in particular is that your return on investment is $42 per dollar spent. 42 times every dollar you spend on email marketing, a return on investment. And it's a great way to stay in front of your customers. So Nate, how can we get people? What kind of call to action can we give people to get them to give us their email?
Let's before we get in there, and I love the layup. That was absolutely perfect.
Oh, you're going to cliffhang it now. Okay, I love this. Keep going.
Absolutely. But, you know, it really comes down to, that's just one buy, your CTA of, here, we'll give you something for free, but the reality is it's not free.
Mm-hmm.
Your ask is, give me your information and your contact. And that's the buy. And when we're talking about that value ladder, there's the first sale with the CTA. Second one is, can you get somebody to buy something for 99 cents or a few dollars? Because that action of pulling out a credit card to make a purchase, no matter how small, takes you light years farther than just give me a name and an email.
Right.
But then there's a process of just being able to upsell from, here's the next step along the way. A perfect example is one of your and my old clients, Grant Cardone, join his presentation for free, just RSVP here. And then he will always have that $99 buy, whatever that education program is. And amazingly, their consultants will reach out and say, you know, that was a great start, but you will get so much more by buying this $5,000 or $10,000 package. And you can spend a few days on location learning so much more for them to pitch you the $40,000 package before you get that call from the consultant saying, you know what, you've done so much and you've come so far, but the way that you're really going to knock it out the park is if you buy our custom made for you $200,000 business planning consultancy.
Listen, I love Grant, but his funnel's too much for me. His funnel's too much.
But he is amazing at the value. I mean, he's a brilliant marketer.
Mm-hmm.
People can say whatever they want, but they're saying it.
Yeah.
Which is a big part of the awareness, the authority, and then the value ladder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But because you did such an awesome tee up, and I will say that I'm pretty proud for everybody that's on here. Rory, you know what? Put a lot of energy into. I created an ad, and so I'm going to show this off. Just it's actually for Entrepreneur and what we're doing, but check it out.
Every great empire begins with a blueprint. What's yours? It then starts with a firm foundation and vision. As you grow, your business becomes more than just an idea. It becomes a company. With the right mindset and knowledge, it grows into an empire, your fortress of success. At EntrepreKNEWer, we provide the education, insights, and strategy for you to build your empire. From legal and business to marketing strategies, we're here to help. Join us on YouTube and get our newsletter to start building your empire today. EntrepreKNEWer. Here's where business grows. Subscribe now.
Yay!
I was so proud of myself.
That's beautiful. But wait, where does that QR code lead to?
Well, I'll just bring it up there as well to give a little bit more time. But that is to receive a lead magnet or a list of ideas on how you can generate more leads, more awareness, more eyeballs on your marketing campaigns in your business.
Yeah, so exactly. And I want to kind of piggyback on that, which is that the whole idea is if you're going to make $42 for every dollar you spend, then you need to have a reason to get that the exchange. You have to have bargain for exchange, a legal term, right? The bargain for exchange in this case is you're going to give the customer, client, investor, whoever they are, something in exchange for their email address and cell phone number. And here we're doing it. Like that QR code, we're going to tell you exactly how to do that. We've given you 28 lead magnet ideas, 28 things you can possibly give to those clients, customers, etc., in exchange for their email address or cell phone number. So check that out. It's full of good ideas, and you can always have more than one lead magnet. You don't have to just have one. You can create multiple lead magnets. You can test which ones work best. I will tell you, I've had many lead magnets, including this one, over the years. My most successful lead magnet was a calculator or a quiz. It was like a calculator / quiz. It was a calculator disguised as a quiz. And what I mean by that is that it was called the How Many Units Do You Need to Retire quiz. So, people were interested in multifamily, and I know you probably get this all the time. Like somebody comes to you and says, I just want to own 1,000 units, right? And you go, well, why? I don't know. I just feel like that's a good number. Well, that doesn't mean any. If you have 1,000 units that are leveraged to the hilt and are barely cash flowing, that's just a headache, right? That's nothing. That doesn't mean anything. What you need is so many units that pay X amount of dollars per month, so you can, like, you want to finish that sentence, right? So this quiz would reveal that information to the potential client, investor, customer, whoever. And it would say to them, this is who you are as a person. People love to hear about themselves. They love to hear introspection about themselves. That's how all those ridiculous quizzes on Facebook got so popular, like, which country should you live in? And then they ask you, like, do you like spaghetti with sauce? Or do you prefer falafel? And then all of a sudden, like, oh, I like spaghetti and sauce. You should live in Italy.
Mind blown.
Yeah, mind blown. But look at how many of your stupid friends on Facebook, me included, love to do those quizzes because it feeds our little egos, right? So if you can find a lead magnet that feeds the ego of your potential client, customer, investor, then that will be your most successful lead magnet.
So quizzes, they're great. I have an attorney that I work with focuses on asset protection, and he has an asset protection quiz. And at the end of this, do you have real estate? Where is it held? What kind of structure do you have? You have an LLC, but goes through this process. And at the end of it says, you are 60% protected. Wouldn't you rather be 100% protected?
Does anybody ever get like 100%? Hold on.
I think they set it up where it is literally 100% impossible to choose the answers that will get you to 100% before they tell you how to be at 100%.
That is so great. Like, oh, that's great. Like, it's not possible to like get anywhere. That's so cool. Well, all right. Well, let's see. I don't know. Let me look at my notes.
Another one that I absolutely love, and I know quite a few groups that are running it repeatedly, are challenges. You want to have this
Challenges are
goal.
great. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Here's incremental challenges that will help you reach this goal that is fairly generic. The wonderful, you want to buy a business?
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to get wealthy? Hey, do you want to, like, the answer that everybody, 100% people say yes. And now the challenge is, show me how.
Yeah. And those, and then like the thing about those challenges, what I love about challenges is that it really forces your potential customer to make like a serious investment, because they're investing time and effort now and then coming to you for something. So you're really getting them in deep, right? So yeah, I love challenges. I try to avoid all challenges. I try not to fall into them because I know what's at the end of the challenge.
Well, don't you want to buy the $99 program now? But with the challenges, every step along the way is another buy-in.
Yeah.
And the more steps that people follow along with you, the more they bought into the concept or the system, the more likelihood they are when you say, wouldn't you rather give me $5,000 for this 2-day event?
I just do this for you. Oh, I mean, I did the same thing for a long time with raising, raising capital, and I would write people blueprints on how to raise capital. And I charged like $15,000 to write blueprints. And the blueprint was beautiful. It gave a lot of valuable information. People were just so impressed with it. It was like 90-page document telling somebody specifically for them how they could raise capital for their business. People loved it.
And it's so important because people don't understand it. I mean, it's like you get bits and pieces from different, talk to a marketing agency, you're going to get marketing. Talk to an attorney, you're going to get, here's how to structure an investment. But you don't have like one point that says, let's just plan it all and how you're going to be successful. So I think it was a massive benefit that you were offering to people. Are you still doing it?
I will. And that's the thing. I'll write the blueprint, which would normally happen is I would write the blueprint and people would love it. And then can you implement this for me? And it just depended on how much I liked the person on whether I would offer to implement or not. Because with raising capital, you have to make sure that people are going to always do the right thing. So that's the difference. So if I didn't feel like the person who I wrote the blueprint for was going to be 100% above board. And by the way, I don't mean like criminally minded or steal money from people. I mean, like they were going to be on board, totally focused on their business, getting it done. Because my concern is always when people are raising capital is that they're not 100% on board with their business. So they're unreasonably risking their investors' capital. And I don't want any part of that. Right. So I would only work with people who were like so impressive. That's what we were, so, but yes, I still do them. I just don't advertise them. I don't market them.
Well, there you go.
So if anybody wants a blueprint,
we're here to share and learn a thing or two. Start your marketing. But if you don't mind, can I ask you about how you were doing it? And I have kind of the pointed questions of like, you have the authority based on your track record.
Right.
It was letting people know what you were offering. And did you do that on a social media platform? Was it more personal reach outs through email? What was your beginning strategy? And then I want to know your value ladder as well.
Okay, no, that's great. So I did do some social media. I built my list a lot with social media. So I kind of started with building my list with social media and really doing longer form webinars, kind of similar to what we're doing right now, but making people register. Like the thing about YouTube is that no one really has to register. They can just subscribe to the channel, get notified when we're live, and we might never get anybody's information on who saw this. We might not get anybody's information.
And we want to share. So why?
Right. But and you know, people down the road could see this recording, and then I'll never see them. But that actually wasn't really a problem, because what I would do is I would do initially the webinar on Zoom. And I would advertise through my mailing list, which was always the most successful place, and social media. And at the time, the social media was very much Facebook. It was Facebook. People just have been following me on Facebook for a long time. So that's where I'm the most successful in terms of social media right now. With that being said, I would also create shorter YouTube videos where I'd say, like, if you want to see a longer version of this video, then you can sign up here to get it. And that way I would gather their email address. Now, the thing is, on YouTube in particular, it's like you can buy a membership to somebody's channel for, like, you know, a small entry fee, like $4.99 or something. It depends on the channel, I suppose. Creators create their own metric. So then what I would do is and by the way, I'm giving you the entire funnel right now. So if you're watching this video, write this down, because this was very successful. I'm not kidding when I say I made almost $1 million doing this, like, a handful of times. So write this down. And I had partners who were very instrumental in helping me create this formula. I have to give a shout out to them. The formula was this. I would give a ton of value. I would front load with value. Here is a guide. Here is this. Here is that. Then I would ask for feedback. And I was very specific in my feedback, and it was really, really like short questions like, hey, I hope you've been enjoying all the free stuff I've been giving you. Now, can you tell me what you want in the future? And see, it's still totally focused on the client, customer, whomever. And I'm saying to them, I want you to tell me what you want so that I can provide it for you. And people did it. People couldn't wait to tell me what they wanted, right? So then I would get that information. Now I have data. I have, like, real data, people who are completely engaged in me, people who are most likely going to buy from me, and what they want and what they need. I take that data, and then I actually start providing that information, or writing my content towards that information with a twist. I hear what you're saying. Most of you want to know how to present to investors in an effective manner. That was a huge one. Like, I don't know how to do an investor presentation. So I would say, I hear that you all want to know how to do an investor presentation. Okay, I am going to tell you how to do this. And here's a quick formula on how to do that. But if you really want more information, I would encourage you to sign up for my 7-week boot camp. It's a low cost it's a low investment, and it's 7 weeks, and I will have you up running your very own Rockstar Money Machine. In just 7 weeks, you too can have your very own Rockstar Money Machine. And it was not just a boot camp, but it was a challenge. Like, they had to rise to the occasion to get this Rockstar Money Machine done. Well, at the end of 7 weeks, most people were just, like, getting so much information. It was information overload, that they would say, can you please help me more? Yes, I can help you more. I will write the entire blueprint for you on how I've gotten to know you in this last 7 weeks. I will write the entire blueprint for you. And I'll do that for $15,000. or for $30,000, I'll hold your hand for the next year. And like the thing is you know this, Nate, because a lot of those people I coached came to the law firm to get their legal documents drafted up after the fact. And now they have very successful multi-million-dollar funds. So yeah, I kept moving up that ladder, of that value ladder, much like Mr. Cardone, as we mentioned, although I'm not nearly as aggressive. But it was like, I'm going to give you more value, but you're going to see the value. You're going to get the value. That's another thing too, is that you got to deliver. If you don't deliver, that's it. You're done. You're toast. You're not going to be able to. You won't be able to replicate that. That's really how you do it. You just have to keep delivering that value. And then in a lot of ways, you also have to want to do it. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm not trying to make this about me. This is about you, the audience, and building this funnel or this digital marketing. You have to really be invested in that's what you wanted to do. And for me, and the reason why I love doing EntrepreKNEWer now, and I'm not so much doing just the capital raising, is because I saw that there was so much more to running a business than just, I was really good at teaching how to raise capital. But so many times I found that people were like, I want to raise capital. And they were so deficient in another part of their business that there was no way they were going to successfully raise capital. So with EntrepreKNEWer, I'm hoping to fill that gap. Like, let's get you efficient in all areas you need to be before you start raising capital. Right,
if you don't mind,
that was a really long answer to your very short question.
No, it was unbelievably helpful, because your value ladder, you got the awareness out there in social media, you're on YouTube with shorter educational, leading to that first buy of, why don't you register for this free webinar to get some more information?
Yeah.
The buy is to register. With that, was your next step the 7-week challenge, or was there a step in between?
Sometimes there was a step in between. Sometimes there was like, if you're not ready for the challenge, because the challenge was a larger ticket item. It was, I don't remember if it was $1,000 or $2,500, but sometimes I would have in there like invest. I did this one thing that actually was very successful. Invest $1 for 2 weeks. And for 2 weeks, you can access my entire online catalog of education for $1. But after that, you're going to pay $97 a month. And you can access the catalog. And that was like very much a done DIY, do it yourself, DIY. Get my initials right. DIY. That was a very do it yourself type of program. Like, I'm going to tell you how to do it, and then you're going to go do it yourself. Then the boot camp was, I'm going to do it with you a little bit. I'm going to give you a little hand holding, but I'm only going to do that for 7 weeks. Then the blueprint is I'm going to give you something so specific. I'm doing it with you, but I'm doing it for you, but I'm going to leave you at the end of this process of writing the blueprint out for you. Then you have to do it yourself. And so then after that, it was like, okay, if you want me to do this with you or for you, that is another level. And that other level, that final level, like, they call it what do they call it in video games? Boss mode.
Gotta save the princess.
Yeah, you gotta save the princess. That final save the princess. That's where I started getting picky, and it was like, okay, we're gonna be working together. We're gonna be basically, partnering on this. I'm gonna be investing a lot of my time in exchange for your money. You need to trust me. I need to trust you. And that's where it was like, okay, the relationship at that point really, really mattered. But I had this long courtship, so I knew if the relationship was going to work out or not.
I keep harping and asking about it because honestly, it's the perfect model for anybody to pay attention to, because you had already built in this know, like, and trust persona.
Yeah,
we all like you. Awareness of the offer, that's really what you were advertising to drive people towards. With every step along the way, it's a higher level of service, more customized to the individual. But again, first buy is information, second buy 99 cents. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Then if it gets left on there, great. Now it's $99. Well, if I found value, I'm sticking with it. To that next step of done, do it yourself with a little more guidance with the 7-week challenge, to turn it into the done with you higher price point, but I'm there to really dive in deeper with you. And ultimately, if you don't want to, done for you. And it's like each level of higher service, and everybody chooses their own ride. Ultimately, I don't want to do anything, and I want to hire somebody else to do it all anyways. That's why I own a business.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I'm building that trust in the process of getting paid to build that trust. Like the 7-week boot camp, I actually still have some of those people as I did the 7-week boot camp that I'm talking about, I think in 2021 or 2022. It was it was 2021. So it was a while ago. And I'm still working with some of those people that I did this boot camp with. And I have some fantastic memories from it. And the reason why I'm still working with some of those people is because they, during those 7 weeks, I got them to trust me. And that's the thing. Like, you gotta, like, I think we have to remember, we got to go back to this beginning of this. It's like, you can market all day, but if you don't deliver what you promise to deliver, then all of this is, who cares?
Under promise, over deliver. That is a big part of it. I mean, awareness, authority, then can you do what you actually say you're going to? There's plenty of, especially attorneys out there, that over promise, undeliver like nobody's business.
Oh, attorneys are the worst, right? Like,
The worst.
You know, because the thing is, what I tried to explain this to somebody once, is that the reason why attorneys having good bedside manner, which you have excellent bedside manner, you know how to take care of a client and take care of them and let them know everything's going to be okay. I think that's the culture of crowdfunding lawyers, right, in general, which is why it was such a great match for when we made that deal, because that was really important to me. That there were two things that were super important to me. One, that my employees were going to be taken care of, and two, that the culture of taking care of the clients was going to be adhered to. And I feel like there was nobody better than you and Richard to take on that role. And with that being said, you know, I explained to somebody that, you know, doctors have this massive malpractice insurance cost because they could kill somebody, they could ruin somebody's life. And I explained that so could lawyers. Lawyers can ruin somebody's life. They might not necessarily kill someone, you know, in the biblical sense of the word, like a doctor could, but they can ruin people's lives with their negligence, with their inability to call people back. So yeah, just as simple as that, with their inability to call people back. And so that's why finding good lawyers who will care about your business, and care about what you bring to the table and your bedside manner are so important and valuable.
Absolutely love it. Well, let me share, like, honestly, the marketing that I've done since acquiring Crowdfunding Lawyers. It was a whole new learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a lot of time for this, but before that, I was very much a traditional attorney marketer. I put up billboards. I would buy ads in magazines and publications. The best strategy that I had was honestly spheres of influence. And we treated our clients so unbelievably well that they would refer all their friends and associates. And that's how we truly just grew the entire law firm. And I've done it repeatedly now. 3, 4 restarts, acquisitions, going in new directions. And it's always the same model has worked time and time again.
Yeah.
Crowdfunding Lawyers was a brand new experience, going down brand new rabbit holes. And thank you so much, Jillian, for opening up the doors for me, because it was I'm still a student as well.
Well, hey, there's one thing I know we're going to go to questions, and if you have questions, please put them in the comments below. But and if you guys are loving this, please subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. Just press the subscribe button, and that way you'll know when we're going to be going live, which is every Tuesday at the same time. But with that being said, one thing we didn't talk about, and which is super important, is social media. And again, all about the statistics here. The statistic I read this morning was that 3.5 billion people, that's literally almost half the world. Almost half the entire world is on social media. So if you're not on social media, you are cutting yourself short. You have got to be on social media. You cannot have any kind of like old school thinking in this regard. Like, I don't like social media. I don't like Facebook. I don't like TikTok's run by the Chinese. Like, stop, collaborate, listen. Jillian's back with a whole new edition. It's called social media.
Rolling in that 4.0. The new 4.0.
All right.
But yeah, if you do have any questions or comments, we just have a couple minutes here, and definitely want to provide.
There was something, somebody said something really smart up here, and I can't remember. Oh, dogs are good for the algorithm. Yeah, they're great. Yes. Yes, from a consumer point of view, not from our own. I'm not sure what that was referring to, Rory. I'm sorry I didn't catch that earlier. Running ads on pain points is a good idea as well. That was the one I was looking for. Absolutely. Pain point, like, you know, even in my email marketing that I was talking about with that whole thing, it was like I was looking for people's pain points, right? That survey was just giving me people's pain points. So I would get the survey, and then I would expose the pain point to everybody. And so many people had the same pain point. I don't know where to find investors. All right, well, I'm gonna partially solve that pain point for you. And if you want me to fully solve that pain point for you, all you have to do is buy this thing over here. That's it.
It's interesting. My social media feeds are like 90% for investments now, because I've made a habit of saving every one of the investment ads that come through, because I want to see their structure, how they're presenting, what their funnel looks like to actually reach somebody. Some point people to crowdfunding portals, others point them to, we want to have a phone call with you. And what's the different strategy for the different presentations? My God, I need to start investing in some of these things, because right now I'm just like a stalker, because I just keep collecting all the different ads because I find it so interesting. Thousands of ways to slice it.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, that's really great advice. If you guys are on any marketers email list, like people who are professional marketers, and I'm talking like digitalmarketer.com, or which is Ryan Dice's company, or if you're on Ryan Dice's mail list, or Perry Belcher, or who's the guy out of Rancho Santa Fe? I can see his face and I can't remember his name, but there's all kinds of them out there. But if you get on any of these digital marketing mailing lists, keep all the emails. Keep them all. Keep them for years and years, and then study them and look at them and know exactly what these people have done to be successful, to get that hook in. And you're going to notice a pattern, because they actually reuse a lot of emails. And if you see an email that's been reused, if you save all these emails and you see, oh, they used this email back in November of 2023, and then they use it again in October 2024, then you know that was a good email, because they wouldn't have reused it if it wasn't a good email. And so you should take it and repurpose it for yourself. I don't mean copy it word for word. I mean, see what the rhythm is of that email, and then you use it to write your social media, to write your emails, etc.
You know, the plan is out there. All you got to do is replicate it. Let's see what works. But in whatever industry you are in, you should be on every one of your competitors' marketing lists.
Mm-hmm.
What are they
Agreed.
doing? Do the same thing, just better.
Just better. Right? Exactly.
So, well, thank you so much for all of your input, Jillian. It's always a pleasure.
Oh God, I had a great time. Everybody, if you have questions after this live broadcast, please put them in the comments below because we will come back and answer them for you. We're that aware.
Thank you, everybody, for joining today.
Bye.
Bye.